In The Rich Brother by Tobias Wolff, there are two brothers named Pete and Donald.
Pete is financially successful and has a steady job as a real estate agent.
Donald, on the other hand, cannot keep a steady job and drifts from place to place, joining different religious groups.
Donald often borrows money from Pete and never pays it back. The brothers also disagree on how to experience life. Pete chooses to spend his money on experiences, such as skydiving while high on cocaine.
On the other hand, Donald tries to find meaningful spiritual experiences through interacting with people, such as living among religious people and learning things through their stories.
Donald calls Pete one week and tells him that he quit his religious commune. Pete decides to pick him up and allow him to stay at his house for a while. Upon picking Donald up, the tension is immediate.
Donald criticizes Pete's emotional investment in his possessions, such as his Mercedes, while Pete criticizes Donald for not being serious about life or financially responsible for himself.
Pete reveals that he thinks Donald did not quit the commune, but was kicked out. Fearing Pete's criticism, Donald is reluctant to tell Pete why he was asked to leave. Eventually, he admits that he was asked to leave because he was careless with money and the group's property, giving away their food to those who needed it.
When the brothers stop to eat lunch, a hitchhiker calls himself Webster asks for a ride, using the story of a sick daughter to try to get his help. Pete does not want to take him along, but Donald volunteers Pete's car. Along the way, Webster tells a story about harming his family to find gold. Pete guesses that Webster is trying to sell his claim to the gold and that the story is fake. He responds rudely to Webster's story.
Pete then gets tired and asks Donald to drive for a bit. After waking up, Webster is gone and the car needs gas. Pete asks Donald to pay with the money Pete gave him, but Donald has given it to Webster. Pete and Donald argue. Pete is upset and Donald has been irresponsible, is too quick to believe others, and does not hold a traditional job.
Donald is upset that Pete is judgmental and too focused on money. Pete declares that he is responsible for Donald even though he does not want to be, and Donald forces Pete to stop the car and gets out to go his own way.
Pete continues to drive home, but he thinks about his brother and facing his wife at home and explaining that he dropped Donald off because he was sick of taking care of him. He slows down the car and prepares to turn back and pick Donald up.